Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm still chuckling over a joke I shared. I have English teachers from other countries and one that is an attorney that took him 7 years to learn, or 17 years to learn English. And I followed this one page that's uh, uh, language nerds, and it said that here was spelt like hair, and it said, oh geez, now and yeah, okay, just a second here. Um, I have to go find it. Now it escapes me. It's just so funny that I guess I'm just laughing at something I can't remember. Um, yeah, just a minute, please. I'm getting there. It'll take a second to pull up. Um, my topic today is building friendships and relationships and how do we trust people? How could you tell, the way there's a lot of fake stuff out there. One thing real quick I did put on my Facebook page, um, all pedophiles need 3 bullets, 2 in the chest and 1 in the head. Bet you won't repost. Well, I want to see them on chain gangs. Death is too easy for them. They can work for the people for free. If you harm and that child, any assets anybody has when they harm somebody, um, I believe should go to that person that is harmed in that physical or violent way. Why should somebody just because they have money uh, be able to destroy somebody's life and then just walk away unscathed, Okay, here it is, the language nerds. If you need any help in English, I'm always here for you. That's just sick, isn't it? So, anyway, thought it was humorous. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's so hard to make friends. I mean, I have people that I've known for decades that um I mean, they're there for me if I need them, and the same with me for them. But I mean, as far as really hanging out with anybody, I don't really do that. And there are things I like to do, like I wish I had somebody to go hiking with, or I love to collect agates. So I am a rock hound, geology. Um, I used to have a very large collection well, I had one of dirt from all over the world. I moved and then I gave it to somebody that was interested in that type of thing. But yeah, I had rocks from all over the place of all different sorts, so yeah. At one point, I even had sapphires and silver from some of the mines in the United States. Just think of all the wealth that the Native Americans don't get out of their own country, but the government is selling from underneath them, and then people are worried about whose land is being invaded, like in the Middle East or something. Why would you worry so much about another person's country when we can't take care of the one that we have right here, and it's being pillaged right in front of us for hundreds of years now, and nobody says anything. They're just like, oh, well, they don't matter, you know. Well, they do matter. But yeah, I'm thinking about, I know somebody that's having to start their life over after a divorce. And I mean, if you're not in a established community where you know people, and then you have to meet new people. And even, it is harder to make friends when you get into your 30s and 40s if you have ones that you've had all your childhood. But I moved a lot. I never really kept in contact with people. I mean, I moved a lot when I was in my 20s into my 30s, and then I just really got sick of the instability of the whole thing and decided I was going to do two things: get my own house and take out the trash, meaning anybody that was in my life that did not live up to my values, they were out of there. So that's it. I'm still like that, and that's why it's kind of lonely. So be it. But one thing I won't tolerate in any friendship or communication with anybody is being used or mocked or laughed at. Even if it's that they think it's want to pass it off as a joke or whatever. It's not funny, you know. Um, I heard somebody telling a story about a little 4-year old that heard a spirit, and that it kind of scared her, and she ran in the other room and cried, and they thought that was funny. That's not funny. Spiritual warfare is a very real thing, and little people are attacked. Very seldom, unless you're in like a community that's even like Christian communities, they speak of Christ being a spirit, but they don't deal with the spiritual warfare. They don't really give you the tools. They say, put on the armor of God. Okay, what's that armor? Just being a nice person continuously? And you're going to tell me that turning the other cheek for hundreds of years is what you want to tell your children? I'm not telling my children to fight when somebody opposes them, but I'm certainly not going to tell them to tolerate bad behavior out of liars, cheaters, manipulators. No, those are the tools that you need for spiritual warfare. You need to know the psyche of a person, the psychology behind the whole thing, you know. So that's pretty much like what's on my mind today is the spiritual warfare that is going on, and how to prevent that from affecting our lives. I mean, okay, I want to trust people. I really do. But they make it hard, I mean, if they do and say things that are off, and they might have a reason for it, and it might be different than what we think, you know. But if it's sort of like a continual thing, they're showing us their characters, so we have to stop there. I mean, we can admire somebody, we can love them for the human being they are. They might have some really cool aspects about themselves, but you still have to distance yourself. You can say, wow, cool human being, pretty good looking, nice, kind, but there's just a little something something there that doesn't sit right with you, and it's there. Don't That's what I was thinking about talking about when I was saying people were trying to get me to not believe in my intuition and my instincts. Oh, was I ever right? I found out, and there's times that I was gonna make a bunch of phone calls. I made some, but I was gonna make a bunch of phone calls to benefit somebody, but on the word of somebody else, but I held off on those phone calls because my instincts told me if I had made those calls that it wouldn't have benefited the person that I was trying to help, that the other person actually was trying to manipulate the situation to benefit them, not the innocent party. So my instincts are spot on, and I'm going to stay with them like that. Yeah, I am. So, yeah, and even Doug's like, well, what if you're wrong? I said, but I haven't ever been with my instincts. I, like I was telling somebody the other day, my instincts have saved my life. You go into a dangerous room or a dangerous atmosphere. Could be coming out of a building and going into a back alley or something, and something ominous. There's something looming in the air, and you just know. Next thing you know, there's somebody jumps out of a doorway and grabs a little old lady's purse or something, but you sense something. Or you're on a bus and you get off a bus and you just have a weird feeling, and next thing you know, some people on the corner start fighting right in front of you or whatever. But your instincts are an actual thing. You can sense auras of people, you know? So. Yeah, so that's why I'm so guarded, and I mean, you can go ahead and try and belittle or mock or lie to me or whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter, because not only do I anticipate it, I anticipated this my entire life. So it's not something that you can get away with. It's just something you do that I recognize that I knew you were going to do anyway, you know. So otherwise, I'd be way hurt if I put my trust in somebody wholeheartedly that would give them the opportunity to crush me. And I'm not willing to do that for anybody. The Spirit of God, that's it. But not a human being, you know. I was taught a long time ago, trust no one. And when you're in the position of actually having a little more control over your life than people want you to, you can't trust anybody. You're doing that all by yourself. There's nobody. The only thing people do, because they aren't willing to do the same thing and they don't have it because they lack integrity, they want to take you down because you're willing to do what they're not willing to do, you know. So, now, for some reason, my computer just was beeping. I don't know if that came through. There might be some noise. We'll work through it. If Doug comes in, I'll tell him I'm making a video if he wants to say hi or whatever. Maybe not. Oh, it's so beautiful out today. It's above 40 degrees. Everything's melting out there. It's just nice. Um, so, do you get what I'm saying about, I mean, I love people. I love being around them. But there's times too in my life where I've been in groups of people and I want to have a good day, but the atmosphere just isn't to my liking, and I'll just leave. I've been known to, I walked one day 23 miles down a mountain just to get away from nonsense. I didn't have a ride at the time, you know. I stopped midway at this one place called Belfry. They had a bar and I went in and I don't think I had a drink. I might have. I might have had a little Oli. They had these little beers, um, Olympia Gold, and I'd get little Olis and a little can of tomato juice and mix them. I might have done that. It was before I had kids, and so yeah, there's plenty of times. I mean, I've walked a lot in my life, thousands and thousands of miles up and down mountains and all over the place. But as far as not tolerating anybody's baloney, I've been known to walk, and I do that. I was at a barbecue one time, and this guy slapped my butt. I hit his so hard, he went flying. And then because I wasn't protected in the situation, I just walked and nobody knew where I was or anything. That's the way I do things. You know, if I'm with people, if I expect like a man to take care of me in a situation where there's other men, I don't mean fighting. I mean saying you keep your hands off my wife or girlfriend or whatever the case is, you know. But when I have to do that for myself, I'm emotionally done with the person that didn't defend me, you know? So, yeah, because I've never had anybody really defend me. A couple times. One time, Doug did. Guy called me the B word, and Doug's like, he called my wife that again. And he was kneeling over, too, working on the house, and the guy was in the car in his truck. Thing is, he didn't tell his wife shady dealings that he had done to us. So she was all pissed off, thinking that we were trashy. And he was sitting there spouting his shit, and Doug was about ready to jack him. And yeah, but it didn't happen. Then another time, somebody hit Doug. I kicked him out of my house. I don't tolerate that in my home, you know. But it's just weird that all the weird things, like I had another guy, I had these people, homeless people staying with me. And the woman, she had two children, real tiny little infant. This one was super scary. And he hit her so hard in front of me, the baby hit the wall. I grabbed him, I threw him out the door, and I did like I did do a lot of times because locks don't always work. But if you put steel knives in the door jambs, you also have the security of the wood surrounding that with the door as extra um, lock mechanism. So I got her and the kids in the bathroom, and I kept guard. I didn't have a phone, and I kept guard until I could get some help till I saw the neighbor come home who was my manager of the apartments there and everything. Yeah, I'm a martial artist, but this dude was retarded. He was scary. He was big. Yeah, I probably could have took him out, but I would have got hurt. And then what would have happened to the kids and her if something happened to me? You know, if it was just me, I would have been all in right then and there. But it was a little different than that. So, but I've just been around these weird situations, and people are like, yo, they feel sorry for the homeless. Yeah, well, how many have you taken in? I took in a school teacher so he could privately tutor my children. He stole from me, you know? Yeah. Anyway, and so many other times I've been through these weird things. All these Christians, oh, the poor homeless, and we love everybody. Do you? Really? What do you actually do for other people? I mean, yeah, if you're in a church setting and a group of people, they do for each other. But what do you actually do for your fellow human beings? Do you even smile at them when you go out in public? Most people don't. When I meet another human being that looks me in my eyes, and when we look and we smile at each other, that's one of the most precious things on the planet to me. You know, it's priceless, isn't it? No matter what age they are. The same with being polite, like opening the doors for people and just being human, you know? Oh, yeah. Be all you can be. Don't join the army because they lie to you. You're not defending anything but wars that were planned out to keep the money machine going around. That's all it is. It's a part of the agendas. Um, it's a playbook. They actually have it written down, for God's sakes. You know, seriously, we've all seen them. Agendas 2020 and 2030 and what they're doing to us, you know. The same with what I touched on a little moment ago was, or a bit ago here. Let me see if I can remember what it was now. Okay, just a second. um, oh, maybe it'll come back to me. It was something about, I don't know if it was the Noahide laws or some other sneaky laws that they're writing in or taking out. It was something pertaining to one of them issues. I might remember it in a minute here, but yeah. My lighting's still a little funky, but that's the way it is. Let's see if I can remember that, what I was going to touch on. It seemed important. My adopted mother used to say that if you can't remember something, it must have been a lie. Maybe that's how her brain worked, but if I can't remember it, it's because I got a lot of other things going on up in there. Um, you know, some people think too. Like in a group setting, I'm super quiet until I shouldn't be. And then all of a sudden, I surprise people because they don't expect what comes out of my mouth. A lot of times it's stuff that they may want to say, but they won't. They're afraid of losing friends or whatever it is. I'm not at all. And if people are strong enough to admire my strength and even emulate it, that's a that's a honorable thing, you know, if you want to like mimic somebody or copy them. But first, where's the integrity behind all that before you pick up like a mannerism of somebody? What's all up in there before you try and be like somebody? It's what people call shadow work, you know. I just call if you do something stupid, don't do it again, you know, because your conscience tells you the moment you do something out of sorts to another human being, you're fully aware of what you're doing. Just like narcissists, there's this one Andrew I watch. He says they breathe the same air. They put their pants on the same as us, one leg at a time. Every day they have the decision to be a good human being or not, you know. So, and I'm still trying to think of what that law was that's on the books that is kind of hidden. I might get there. If not, I'll make a separate video on the issue. So, yeah, I'll hang around for a bit here. And so, oh, yeah, and I don't know. That's okay. No big deal. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about friendships and honesty. And first off, too, um, I'm never ever going to help another human being that ignores me. You know, it's like they want to um, gather things that are attributed to me, but they will never even talk to me as a human being. So my videos aren't for you. You have no business even hearing a word I have to say because you do not like me. You do not love me. You only care about yourself, and I'm not going to help you. So that's that. Now, if you don't fall into that category, I'll do anything I can to help you at any time. Oh, that's what I was going to say. They're trying to pass a law, and it is like in play in California, of course. But it's called the. Let me see if I can remember exactly what they named this stupid thing. I'll tell you about it because I got it here now. Um, okay, I don't remember the name of the law, but it's like, okay, say if you're a rape victim, they're they're making it so there is a name for it where the rape victim has to go in a room with the perpetrator so they have a chance to either apologize or explain why they did these things to that person. That's almost like and there is a name for this law that they passed. That's like re-traumatizing the person. That's whacked. Rehabilitation, I think, is what they call. Um, and this is not anything strike worthy. This is the actual law that I am talking about for the RAPE word. It's an actual thing that's in my country, freedom of speech, that will be upheld. People think, well, the laws, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution, no big deal. Well, you're going to watch it become a very big deal for a lot of people that are trying to preserve that and protect that for other people. So that type of thing doesn't happen to you or one of your children or your loved ones, you know. If you could imagine having to go through something like that. I actually had to at one point go through some things like that, and it's not very pleasant. If you're forced to be around people that have harmed you, you know, and they got away with it, basically ruined your life, but they're just fine, you know. Yeah, that doesn't sit right with me. I think it is the rehabilitation law. That's just terrible. and they were trying to implement it in all of our states. So, well, I'm going to get this uploaded. I'm glad I remembered that for you all so I didn't leave you hanging. I love you. I appreciate you joining me. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at.